1466 is where we are. Where the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice, as the one we have now, the President shall, acting in consultation with the Council of State, appoint a committee consisting of 2 justices of the Supreme Court, one of whom shall be appointed chairman by the President, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State, nor members of Parliament, nor lawyers. So when so this is what it says, where the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice. Now you will notice that Article 1463 use the word prima facie. Can we get it back? Yes. It says, if the President receives a petition to remove a Superior Court's judge, other than the Chief Justice, blah, 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 he shall refer the petition to the Chief Justice, who shall determine whether there is a prima facie case. This is what 1463 says in respect of a judge who is not the Chief Justice, or a regional tribunal, or a Charlotte say, or OSP, all of those office holders whose removal is by impeachment. When you are to be impeached, the applicant writes to the President gives it to the Lord Chief Justice for him or her to make a determination whether there's a prima facie case. But the Constitution proceeds in Article 1466, where is 6 years, 1466, and says that where it is about the Chief Justice, then the President will consult the Council of State. Now, the law lords observed that in 1466, there's nothing like prima facie. So this is what happened. Chief Justice Kingsley Acquah, he was Chief Justice. They'll put up his photograph soon. Kingsley Acquah was Chief Justice. And then somebody petitioned that Kingsley Acquah be removed. This is Kingsley Acquah. May he rest in peace. Very, very brilliant lawyer from Adisadel, Lord Chief Justice. May he rest in peace. Now, Kingsley Acquah a petition was sent for against Kingsley Acquah. And then it became obvious that it looks like the Constitution has what the lawyers called a lacuna, a gap, a space, something that has not been catered for. Because we all looked at it and said, but in the case of the Chief Justice, who makes the prima facie? Because the Chief Justice makes the prima facie in respect of other judges. In the case of the Chief Justice, who makes the prima facie? There was a whole lot of confusion. And that's the beauty of democracy. The law is a living organism. So the law was expanded. Now, one man called Adom-Otchere went to the Supreme Court to say that no, I think that the Supreme Court should find a way of adding to Article 1466. In the case of the Chief Justice, there has to be a way in which a prima facie case should be established. So what did Adom-Otchere say? What is prima facie? We've already told you. Prima facie is whether there's a case to answer or not. This is Justice Data Baah, who is still happily with us. Okay, so he says here, in my view, the objective purpose and spirit of the 1992 Constitution requires that a Chief Justice be given the benefit of a prior determination as to whether there's a prima facie case established against him or her before the President may establish a committee to consider a petition for his or her removal. This is what Data Baah said. He says, in my view, the objective purpose and spirit of the 1992 Constitution require that a Chief Justice, Gertrude Tokonu, Kingsley Acquah, Sophia Ekufu, be given the benefit of a prior determination as to whether there is a prima facie case established against him before the President may establish a committee. Because we found out that there's no space in 1466 where this prima facie will be determined. So this is still Data Baah. He says there is, and so we are talking about how the prima facie case, what the Data Baah and the Supreme Court say about how the prima facie case against the Chief Justice should be established. Who establishes it? Is it the President? Is it the Attorney General? Is it other justices of the Supreme Court? Is it the former Chief Justice? Is it the Chairman of the Council of State? Let's get to the law. He says the issue which arises then from the discussion above is who is to make the prima facie determination. From the analogy in Article 1463, it is clear that the framers of our Constitution wanted an independent determination of the issue of a prima facie case. That is why they provided in the sub-article that the issue was to be referred to the Chief Justice for determination. In cases relating to the Superior Court judges, other than the Chief Justice. Similarly, I, Data Baah speaking, do not consider it reasonable to infer that they would want the President himself alone to make the prima facie determination in case of a petition for the removal of the Chief Justice. there is a parallel need for a process which ensures an independent determination of whether there is a prima facie case against the Chief Justice. I, Data Baah speaking, consider that the reasonable implication to be made from the context of Article 1466 is that the Council of State should play a prominent role in the determination of whether there is a prima facie case against the Chief Justice. Accordingly, Data Baah continues, I am inclined to grant the plaintiff a declaration that the consultation by the President with the Council of State in respect of the appointment of a committee to inquire into the petition for the removal of a Chief Justice shall first determine whether the said petition discloses a prima facie case before the committee is appointed. So, long and short, Justice Data Baah in the Supreme Court said that if the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice, as we have now, between the President with the Attorney General behind him, and I remember that during the trial, those of us who covered the trial, during the trial, the questions were asked of the lawyers by the Supreme Court who were there. Data Baah was super. And he said that you see, this case happened when Kufuor was a lawyer. When Kufuor was president and he's a lawyer. So they said that, okay, so who determines the prima facie? Some say the president should determine it. And then Data Baah said, but it's not every time we're going to have a president who is a lawyer. Incidentally, after Kufuor came Mills, who was a lawyer. After that came President Mahama, who was not a lawyer. And then came Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who was a lawyer. But we were still going to have presidents who are not lawyers. So that argument came up. And then Data Baah said in the court that it is for this reason that the President of Ghana has an appointed lawyer under Article 88 to advise him on legal matters. Article 88 is the article that establishes the office of the Attorney General. So now, Data Baah says here that the prima facie cannot be done by the President alone. It must be done by the President with the Attorney General behind him and the Council of State. So this is where we are. This is